Philadelphia, the birthplace of the USA, the cradle of revolution, a center for Black freedom. From spaces that celebrate liberation and cultural heritage.
The history is so rich with culture, with Black culture specifically. Yes. So it's one of the proudest things to me that we are on South Street.
To creatives who amplify marginalized voices.
I believe that children are living messages that we send to the future for a time that we will not see.
Music, the arts, and entrepreneurship are all being used to push for justice and equity in the city of brotherly love. Film director Sixx uses storytelling as a way to advance the people. Your whole film career was birthed in Philadelphia.
Yes.
You've produced, directed, really established multiple films, but you've also given back in other ways. Mentoring. Let's talk about that.
Man, you really hit a soft spot because I believe that children are living messages that we send to the future for a time that we will not see. That is something that my grandmother used to say. Right, and so every child that we pour into, every being that we pour into is a living message for a time that we will not see. So over 20 years ago, I started mentoring kids along with a friend of mine, and we knew giving back had to be authentically. I'm a child of the movement. My mother was, a Black Panther. She started the All African People's Revolutionary Party. Stokely Carmichael, a.k.a. Kwame Ture, is my godfather. I was born into the movement. And so being a child of the movement, anything that we do, that we believe in, we're passionate about, we're ready to die for. And so I started mentoring kids to tell their stories through film. I never do a film without it having a meaning or a message. When I did Once Upon a Time in Philly, it wasn't just, this gangster film. It was about decisions. And then my second film, that was a sequel to Once Upon a Time in Philly Part 1, was about generational curses. What do we pass on to our children of the things that we do, the sins of the father that visit the son or the daughter? How can we break these generational curses? With my latest film, Jonestown, it is a spiritual successor to Love Jones for Black Gen Zs. Every love story deserves a legacy. What is real now? In a digital age of dating and AI and and all of these different things, people are still searching for what is real.
You've not just been a child of the movement, you've chosen to become part of the movement and continue the work. In the Urban League movement, we believe in that, giving back to our communities, giving back to the Black culture that has given us so much. Really excited to see Jonesing. And thank you for your other projects, because it's important for us. It's what we're trying to do with Justice Now. So important for us to tell our stories, for the people living in the communities and the cities across America, for Black people to talk about Black culture and their experience and not have somebody else lift up and shape what that narrative is.
That's right.
Shannon Maldonado, founder of Yowie, exemplifies how design can foster community and empower local creatives. So I have to ask a question.
Yeah.
What does Yowie mean?
So we get asked that a lot.
I love the word.
Yeah.
What does it mean?
Yeah, Yowie is Australian slang for Bigfoot, the mythological creature. I think when I chose it at the time, that was like 2015, it was just a fun word. It's a word that has like a forced upward cadence. Most people say Yowie, like they say it like very exuberantly, which I thought was nice, and it doesn't really have a US connotation. Now, almost 10 years later, I'm like, maybe I chose that somewhere deep down because it's a creature that people are always looking to pin down and find, and we're always changing direction. And in the last few years, it's blossomed into the space we're standing in now, which is really exciting. So we're in our new storefront. We call ourselves kind of like a modern gift shop. We really work to amplify the work of emerging artists from all over the country, not just in Philly. This kind of acts as our unofficial lobby for the hotel. So we're standing downstairs on the second and third floor. We actually have 13 hotel rooms. all designed by me, has this kind of look of like bright colors, really vibrant, really dynamic. And then we do a lot of things in the shop after hours, workshops, events, activations. So we also say that we're kind of like an unofficial community center as well. And I'm a South Philly girl, and I'm so proud to have a project that's on South Street proper. We're on this big corner and really becomes an anchor to the neighborhood. It's a street that's gone through so many ups and downs over the years, but the history is so rich with culture, with Black culture specifically. Yes. So it's one of the proudest things to me that we are on South Street.
Well, I think what I love about this is that you're almost bridging multiple worlds at the same time.
Definitely.
So there's fashion, there's interior design, there's art. I mean, it's just you're a curator of all things and pulling it together.
And I'm a designer myself, so I've been on both sides of it. And I feel like I have unique experience from working in fashion and working for corporate brands that I can now help artists with, because that's the stuff you don't learn in school, like how to actually market and sell your work. So we do a lot of that.
In your opinion, is design political?
Of course, yeah, definitely. Design is always political. I mean, everything is political, but design is political. Most designers are creating from a place of experience or wanting to share their experience. And I think ultimately that usually is political in some way. Yeah.
Well, thank you for showing us this part of the space. Can we check out the hotel?
Of course.
So when we think about the hospitality industry, women really just are not represented in those spaces as much. So can you tell me a little bit about what that journey has been like?
And as I designed it, there were so many things I was thinking about as a woman traveler that people don't think about. And I think those things, even though maybe might have been designed from a woman's point of view, they affect everybody, they help everyone. So the goal is like, you get to Philly and you really experience the city through our eyes. I'm a native. A lot of my partners and people in the team are natives, and we love the city genuinely. Like, we want you to have a good time when you're in Philly.
The Urban League's own Teia Hudson is a lifelong Philadelphian and now Ivy League student at the University of Pennsylvania. One thing that I am really inspired by is the history that continues to be made. So even to this day, more recently, you have a new mayor in Philadelphia. Tell me about Mayor Sherelle Parker.
Mayor Sherelle Parker is not only the 100th mayor of Philadelphia, but she's also the first Black woman to serve in the role, which to be the 100th mayor and to be the first Black woman, it was a phenomenal feat on her end. So I'm very excited to congratulate her. But also as a Black woman to see that we can be in higher spaces in politics and protect the cities that we love just means a lot to me. She's also a Penn alum, so I have that connection to her as well. And you know, she inspired a lot of young women like myself to achieve my dreams.
So I did hear something about you being a Mayor Scholar.
Yes.
Tell me about what being a Mayor Scholar at UPenn, what that means.
So the Mayor's Scholarship is provided to students who perform exceptionally well in Philadelphia schools, and the city and Penn come together to provide full ride scholarships to students who achieve great academic and service links within their high schools. So I'm a recipient of that scholarship, and I go to Penn for absolutely free.
What does Philadelphia mean to you?
Philadelphia, to me, if I were to describe it, it's a city of brotherly love. You know, I am so grateful to have this city raise me to help me become the woman I am today. A city has shown me the arts, city has shown me culture, it's shown me food, it's brought so many great people to me, friends, mentors, loved ones. I just feel like every step I take in Philly shows me something new that I've never seen it before. For example, the African American Museum, I love being able to come out to these different types of art curations and enjoy what my city has to offer.
So it sounds like Philly is that city that you may never want to leave and you just want to constantly give back to.
Yes, I love the city very, very much.
Let's go check out this art.
Let's go.
And as we are inspired by the city's bright future, we can't forget its past. Grammy winner Bilal has influenced a generation with his alternative approach to music. Can you tell me about what it was like to grow up in Philadelphia and how that really has inspired you in your work?
Starting off in the church. Yeah, that's where I first started singing when I was around 4 years old. I like joined the, I think it was called the Sunbeams.
What is the first song or the song that you remember from the Sunbeams?
Tell 'em I'm a child of God. It was super soulful. The whole church was, it was a big choir, but I was comfortable with being the weirdo. I think by the time I was 11 years old, I was directing the choir, teaching the songs. It was an interesting thing growing up in Philadelphia because my dad was really into jazz. His friend owned a jazz club in the city. I think at that time it was called Zanzibar Blue. But I grew up in Zanzibar Blue, in the coat part, just in case somebody came in there looking around. They go,
oh, because you were underage. So
yeah, I was literally a little kid, like.
So you're soaking it all up.
Yeah, from like 12 years old or whatever. I was really interested in music always.
I know so many people come to the city of Philadelphia for music from across the country. Talk to me about the relationships that you've developed over the years and what collaboration, and I would probably say some of the friendships you've developed, what that has meant for you and your self-expression in your music.
The jam sessions is where I met a lot of people. I did a album, a live recording called Glass House up in Brooklyn, which kind of was in that format of the jazz or the jam session kind of vibe. It was a Spare the Moment concert I just did in the basement of my friend Jared's house. I'm gonna try something.
Okay.
And I called Amir, and he was randomly in town.
Okay.
I called Robert, he's in town. Boom Bishop, who plays bass with Rob. I called up Common was in town.
You were bringing all the
town
together.
Just come, we're gonna do that. And let's come over and let's jam. Threw some paint against the wall, and a magical moment happened from there.
From your perspective, do you think music is political?
The balance or the strength isn't as strong anymore. It's still there. It still has the potential, though, to be used that way. You still see certain artists that are able to kind of wield that. But that goes into a whole social conversation, in the minds of the people and how the levels of how it's been dumbed down, that we don't pick up on certain codes as much. But I would say in certain levels it could be changing, So that's a deeper conversation.
Yeah. You have a new album out, Adjust Brightness.
Adjust Brightness is a continuation of my story. I've been getting more into landscaping, electronic sounds, more organic sounds mixed in with, I guess, the story of where I've come from so far. It's kind of bugged out and awesome.
Well, we love bugged out and awesome. What advice do you have for young people, young filmmakers who are just getting started, trying to make their mark?
Tell your true, authentic story. Be very true to yourself, right? Do not go with the nuances. Keep telling your stories and tell them where it makes you scared.
Tell me a little bit more about that, about where it makes you scared.
Yeah, those stories that make you scared, those stories that are, deep in vulnerability. Like, I don't really want to talk about that. Those stories that are the pink elephant in every Black household, we just don't say nothing, we just let it. Tell those stories. Be authentic, because those are the ones that are going to challenge you and make you dig a little bit deeper.
In many ways, there are some that might say film is or can be political. Do you think it is?
Yeah, it should be.
Oh, it should be. Okay, tell me more about that.
Film is always political, right? Because you're telling the story from how you see things, right? And that's what makes it political. Whether it's the character that you pick and something that is not real, you know, or whether it's the news that is shown or who they interview on the news.
Choices, yeah.
Right. It's always political. It's always, you know, it's always about politics, and we have to be keen and aware of that. The minute that you don't know that is the minute that you have missed the entire, you know, message or the narrative. What drives me, and I think what should drive anyone, is your passion, your love for what you would like to do. Whether it's advocacy, whether it's justice reform, whether it's filmmaking, whatever it is, you have to be able to find your why. That is the basis of everything. Why are you doing this?
What's your purpose?
What is your purpose, right? Because if you have no purpose behind that, it's going to become a chore. And no one likes to do chores. My mother told me that thoughts are things and that everything that I think I can manifest. So I do it because it's magic. That the things that I think I watch come to fruition. And it becomes a domino effect on the people that I affect with it. That drives me. It's creation, it's legacy, that I'm actually thinking of this. And I'm bursting in an industry that doesn't appreciate Black filmmakers, man or woman. You know, we say in our family, keep on keeping on. Doors don't slam open, so keep on keeping on.
Philadelphia's modern era of creative visionaries really is redefining what justice means for the Black community in this city of brotherly love and sisterly affection.